Here we are, live.
And we are live and direct from Honolulu. Welcome to M3 Power Collabs. I am your host, Mike Dillard, where we talk about mindset matters most. Today's special guest host, all the way from California. Let me make sure I'm saying this right, please. It's Miss Shy Lachelle Wilson Crumpler. Am I saying that right?
You said it perfectly, better than most, yes.
Okay, thank you. I was studying all night to get that right. So I'm very glad to hear that. Hey, so welcome so much. So I just want to give everybody a very quick intro, right? So for those of you that are not familiar with the show, we always keep it real, we keep it live, interesting, and just very simple, right? So we always talk about three elements. So there's always the element of the struggle. You see this person now, they're so successful, right? They're on top of the mountain, but they weren't always like this, right? So there was an element of struggle. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the element of success, like boom, how did they go from the valley to the mountaintop? And then we always talk about the strategy. If there's one or two strategies that they want to share with you all, you know, they're more than welcome to do that. So that's the show. So, you know, Shy, so you are a fashion model, an actress, right? A video content producer. I mean, that's what you do. Like, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Like, who is Shy? Who is Shy?
Well, I'm originally from San Jose, California. I've been in LA for 8 years. So that's where I grew up. And I just love growing up. I was always living with my grandparents, so a lot, and my great grandparents. So the old school really instilled a lot of values in me, a lot of morals.
Right.
That's why I love old music, Chubby Checker, Jackie Wilson, a little bit of jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, because I was influenced by my great uncles and aunties, grandparents, great grandparents. So that's a lot of things I grew up around as a little girl, and I was blessed to have my great grandparents in my life until I was 15 years old.
Oh wow!
So I was really, really blessed, and and because of that, I started speaking Spanish. I speak Spanish. I'm learning how to speak Tagalog.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I was like, you do kind of, honestly, you kind of look like you're, you could be mixed with some, I don't know if it's Cuban or Brazilian, but you do look like you have that in you. So I'm not surprised. Do people think they expect you to speak Spanish?
A lot of times in San Jose and in LA, a lot of people say South American, Brazilian, but what they don't know is that actually my preschool teachers, I was in preschool around 2.5 years old, and they really took time with me. Yeah, when you're a sponge. And they really took time with me. So my parents said I would come home speaking Spanish and singing songs. And they said I developed an accent, and they loved it. They welcomed it. But they couldn't help me any further because my parents don't speak Spanish. So so I kind of lost it. But throughout the years, my friends, my teachers in high school, college, working in the working world, and a lot of my jobs, and my apartment manager right now, I speak Spanish with them to keep it up. I know how to write as well.
Oh wow, okay, that's important. That's really important. So you said you're learning Tagalog too, right? So I mean, that's Filipino. That's a Filipino dialect. So okay, any words you want to say? Let's hear a word or two.
Yes.
I'll put you on the spot here. All right, let's hear it.
I'm glad you asked. Well, first it's mahal kita.
Okay.
And that means I love you. I love you.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, we just met.
It's universal. And then there's salama, which means thank you.
Okay, I remember that. I went to the Philippines before. I do remember that.
And mabuti, which means good.
Got it. Okay, so wow. Okay, so you're obviously highly intelligent. You did the fashion model thing. Boom, you're doing the actress. You're making the videos, the slamming videos. You speak multiple languages, right? So, I mean, so what we're gonna do now is we see you, right? We see you in all your glory now, right? But you weren't always like this, right? So let's take us back to a moment, like when you were in the struggle, like you was going through it. You didn't know how you was gonna make it out. Things was rough, and maybe it even helped partially define who you are right now and kind of what you're doing right now. Okay, so boom, I turn it over to you. You got it.
Yes, there was one time, and that would be when I was transitioning from San Jose to Los Angeles. I won the IMT competition with my talent managers in San Francisco, which landed me in Los Angeles. So that was wonderful. And
Okay.
I got my job. I got a job a month later, found one. So boom, okay, we got it. However, there was a process of screening for my new job. So basically, I had 7 days to move to Los Angeles.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of stuff to move, and I mean, you're packing your whole life up to move in 7 days. That's a short time.
Yes. Well, what happened is I had a 1-bedroom apartment, so I had to put that on hold. I told my manager, but I had to put that on hold. So I took my 4-piece luggage that my parents had just given me for the for the holidays. I put my clothes and what I thought I needed, and from from San Jose to LA is about 523 miles. So I drove. And this is all by myself. And at the time, I had a stick shift. Drive a stick shift for a very long time. I took my test in a stick shift. So I drove my car all the way to Los Angeles. Now, I didn't know where I was going to live, stay, rent. So, and this is one thing, I didn't have anyone holding my hand. I had no welcome wagon saying, okay, well, this is where you move. LA is like this. You don't want to go over here. You want to do this. It was trial and error, sink and swim. Like, if you don't make it, oh, well, shy. I mean, I had no one helping me. No one I know in my family has ever been. Everyone in San Jose thinks Los Angeles is Disneyland.
Oh, the city of gold, and all this. Yeah, people do think that, right?
Yeah. So I was in I was in a motel. That's where I finally had to live. In the midst of being in LA the first year, because sometimes a motel won't let you stay there over 30 days. It's some type of rule. So basically, I stayed at one motel. It was close to where I worked. Now, I worked nights because I wanted to hit the auditions during the day. So that was great. But I was coming home at 2:15, 2:30 a.m. at some motel. I didn't, and another thing, me coming to LA, I'm still like this. I have rose-colored glasses. I don't care where I am. Like, I love it.
Right.
I love it. I'm here. But little by little, I've been here for a few years, but after a year or so, when I really knew what LA was about, I could have got my neck slit. And I'll tell you why. I came home, like I said, 2:30 at night, worked 5 days, full time, sometimes 6 days. So I was working full time. And I would come home just looking like Diana Ross. And there was a bad element there. And I remember one time, the managers, first of all, was really, really nice. They gave me a mattress, and they did something with my doorknob. Good thing they did, because one time I came home and someone had fidgeted with the doorknob. Now, they were able to remove the doorknob from the outside of my apartment. I mean, the outside towards the corridor, but they just couldn't fidget it to break it off to get into the inside. And I did have a laptop. I had all of my stuff. Maybe I had some money there. And and then one time I remember going to work at 7 or 6, okay, during the daytime. And I turn the corner and I see a transaction going on. And and I remember seeing it. I remember just walking. I said, okay, if I keep my head down because it's over here. And if I keep my head down and I go like this and I don't see them and they see that I don't see them, then I'll be okay. And I was like, oh my goodness. And that's when it was really like, where do I live? But of course, you know, again, I had no one telling me. I mean, even to this day, like my parents don't know. You know, my parents don't know. They knew I was at like a hotel, but it's like, no, it's really a motel. And it was just an element like that around me. So that was my struggle. And then I remember one time coming back from San Jose, and I was taking care of my apartment, and my radiator on my car busted, and I was stranded on the 101 in LA. I got to LA. There was a nice couple that helped me, and later on, later it was during the day. Good thing it was during the day. And later on, I got it fixed, but I just remember being so close, and I'm just so close, and then boom, my radiator just, you know, bursts, and I'm just like, oh, another setback. So I mean, I did that for about 8 or 9 months in this. 8 or 9 months in this motel, putting a hood over my head, running up to the motel so no one would see me, you know, so I would be safe.
Look, we're laughing about this now, right? But this is not, it's really not a funny matter, right? I've lived it when I had no money and stuff. I lived in a seedy area too, where transactions was going on. It was behind a radio appliance store. It was real shady. It was scary, right? So I get what you're saying. We can laugh about it now, but I'm sure at the time you wasn't laughing. You was like, man, I don't want people to see me. You know, they might mistake me for a lady of the night or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know, right?
Yeah, that's real. It's crazy, you know. And then I remember one time I was coming from IHOP and I bought myself a steak, you know, because whatever, I was celebrating, whatever. And then I was walking, and then the police stopped me. And then they were kind of, hey girl, come over here. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. But of course, you know, I was shy. You know, I'm gonna be the bubbly shy. So I was like, hi, how you doing? You know, and then they asked me a few questions. I'm an actress. And then I remember them saying, you live here? You know,
like, this doesn't compute, right?
Exactly. So then, you know, so then it started locking. But you know, I just said, okay, you know, this is temporary. This is temporary. And like I said, I was there for about 8 months. I had to settle my old apartment in San Jose. So I would get off of work at 2 a.m. Okay. And if I had to go to San Jose, pack my car, and I would drive to San Jose literally 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm on the I-5, California 33, Gilroy 152. And I would get to San Jose probably like early in the morning around 8 or 9. And that's another thing, you know, to keep going over the grapevine. Because it's, if you're familiar with the grapevine, it's nothing to mess with when you're, you know, going up the grapevine in such a late night.
What is that, the grapevine? What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, it is in between LA and Bakersfield, and this is massive, massive hill that everybody has to go up because LA is elevated up, and there's a lot of car crashes. I mean, it's 6 lanes. There's a lot of trucks with cargo, and there's a lot of car crashes when you're going up the grapevine, and it's very dangerous. And let alone you're going up the grapevine at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's really dangerous. So I was going to LA and driving to and from 4 or 5 months, twice a month, until I got everything settled in San Jose.
So let me ask you this, because this is what's occurring to me. So I mean, I listen. I mean, obviously I can see you, and then I can hear you and what you're saying. And obviously you're educated and you have mannerisms and all. So, I mean, I'm sure you were brought up in a certain type of home. Like, you know, I don't think you was brought up in a lower socioeconomic background. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you strike me like you came from a particular type of home where you were cared for and brought up. It was loving and nurturing and respect. And so, you know, the culture shock is real. So, you know, when you go from that to where you ended up going, right? I mean, yeah, your mind was blown, right? You had no idea, like, you shouldn't be in this area or that area. You're just like, it's all good. I'm happy and everything's good, so I'm okay, right?
Yeah, and part of it was like, I don't judge. I know why I'm here in Los Angeles, and
Right.
hey, you're gonna see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, at first I just thought like, and I'm still surprised when I drive around and I see different
Mm.
areas. But yeah, what you see on TV is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot different than what you see. That's what blows my mind. Even some
It's
nice
vastly
areas,
different. Yeah.
I'm like, there's something going on here.
Yeah, yeah. So, man, I appreciate you for sharing that, right? Because, yeah, again, a lot of people, they see the person that you are now and they just, it's like, oh, she's so lucky. She's so this, she's so that, but they have no idea, like, the struggle. I mean, so you came to Los Angeles to be an actress, right?
Actress.
Right, right. And so, historically speaking, we kind of all know, like, okay, there's the whole, you were a starving actress, right? I mean, that's kind of like the norm coming to Hollywood, right? So I'm sure you got all types. All right, let's do this. Give us one tale before we go to the mountaintop. Give us one tale, okay, like behind the scenes, Hollywood, maybe he was working on a movie or something like that, and just some craziness, some shenanigans that you saw and was like, what the heck is this? If there was any, I would just think there would be, but
Yes. There's a few. There was one thing I was working on, and I booked the part. I got a call back, and I booked the part, and then I came in, and the lead actor, I would say that the lead actor, I'd never seen it before. Yeah, he was more than not having a good day. It was almost having like a little tantrum and pouting. And of course, you show up on set, you're already like, okay, I'm ready. And then you see
yeah.
production kind of looking weird and the energy's off, and you see the director it's weird, the energy's off. And then when things like that happen, sometimes you're like, is it me? But it's not you. And then later on, yeah, and then they're just like in their chair just pouting, and the director comes over like, okay, it's okay, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, it makes it really uncomfortable. And I've heard about things like that before, but I've never I've never seen it, because I've been very, very lucky when it comes to even doing acting projects in San Jose and what have you. So it took me a few years to see this, but I'm like, wow, they're not kidding. Sometimes you can have a few personalities on set, and you see how there you go, and you see how just one prima donna kind of makes the whole project sink, and everyone's kind of uncomfortable. So I got to see that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I'm learning, like, each show is a little bit different because each person is a little bit different. Story is different, right? People want to know certain things. I know I want to know certain things. So, but we still want to stick to the basic format. But so, okay, answer me this. So, with all of the Me Too movement and, the things coming out in the entertainment industry, but I mean, it was everywhere, right? But especially the entertainment industry, like with Weintraub and all of that stuff. So did you experience any of that? They talk about the casting counts, and I don't know if you want to talk about that, or if that was even did you ever experience anything of that nature? Like people just being untoward, towards you or anything like that?
Not at the casting, no, not like, on the casting couch, what have you. But I do remember just before COVID, in 2018, I booked a role, and we were shooting like 3 days out of it was for a film, so we were shooting 3 days out of 1 month and 3 days out of the next month. And I remember the director at one point said that he would feel better if I slept over his house, and and I remember, and see, with me, at this point, I knew people, co-workers, they might not be in the business, but co-workers, and some guys, and I had mentioned it to them, and they're like, and yeah, so basically, ladies out there, you could always say no. So I said no. I can wake up. Actually, I have people who are willing to call me, which they really do. My family, they're wonderful. They're willing to call me at 6 a.m. if I need to wake up. At this point I had a new car. This was like 2018. So I had a new car, you know, clothes are already in my car. The call time I think was like 5 o'clock originally, but because he went over, and we were shooting until 2 a.m., which was kind of like work, we ended up actually shooting at 8 a.m. But I still told him like, no, you know, there's no need for that. If I need, you know, I can be at your house at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So yeah, and then and I didn't like that. You know, I never, and see, Josh was talking before me. I was the kind of kid, I was not allowed to spend the night at anyone's house. I never had a sleepover, you know, like, and I think I had those kind of parents, but I think that's a good thing, because it's like, listen, I have my own apartment, you know, and I love my amenities and my bed and everything. So it's like, yeah, you know, I don't need to sleep over your house. I could be up early. And the way I was going anyways, I was going against traffic. So actually, I was right there. It didn't take me too long to get to the shooting location. So I just said, you know what? I wasn't raised like that, you know. And then really quick, he lied and said the makeup artist was going to be there along with him and his producer. But,
okay, I was wondering how he tried to justify this thing. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, he goes, oh, the makeup artist will be there, and he was just sweet as pie. But it turns out that this director knew a lady who owned a hotel, so that's where our makeup was applied, right? And it turns out that this makeup artist that he said was going to be over there too, he got a hotel room. He got the hotel room. So in my mind, and then see me, we started comparing notes. After we were done shooting, I talked to the makeup artist and we started comparing notes. And I said, well, if you got a hotel room, why couldn't he just put me in a hotel room?
Because he had a special place reserved for you. He ain't slick. You know what? So glad that you did not fall for that. A lot of people, you know, women and men actually have fallen for that, you know, and I think they were willing to sacrifice their self-worth, you know, in pursuit of their goals. But I'm glad that you did not do that, because look, you didn't do that and you still rose up and you're still climbing up. So let's talk about the next segment here, right? So how'd you go from, you know, struggling with people trying to jack your door and taking the doorknobs off and, you know, whatever craziness is going on, to where you are now, right? You know, we see you now and doing all types of stuff. So how do you get from there to there?
Well, I have to say, number one, that was God. He was looking after me. I know for a fact he's the one that allowed the apartment manager to like kind of redo that doorknob I told you about, because they had just fixed it or replaced it or did something with it. And that's why they probably couldn't get in. So God, my faith in God, he kept me safe. I even remember a coworker before she left. We only worked a year together. She was a wonderful actress too. And she just turned to me and it was so weird. She goes, you know what? Just, you're going to make it. You're going to do what you want to do. Just your belief in God. Believe in God. Never forget God and you'll be fine. And I'm so glad she, you know, I'm so glad she told me that, you know, and just listening to him, learning how to say no, but more importantly, listening to him, and always taking advantage of maybe something you hear or something in your email. Oh, an audition here. Oh, well, you know, I'm off this day. Let's, you know, we can sleep later. Let's go. You know, sometimes just listening as well. That's what got me. That is what really got me through. He did.
Right. And everybody that knows me knows I'm a man of faith. We all know that, right? I don't use my platforms. Now, if you go on my Instagram channel, that's straight up evangelism. You're gonna get some evangelism, right? But on my other platforms, I don't really, I do mention God, right? But without God, even people like to say, well, humans are strong enough to do it. I'm like, no, it's not true. Because at some point, there's something that's greater than you and it's going to break you. So whether you believe in, you might not believe in God, you may believe in something else, but you're going to believe in something that's going to help you get past that, because it's going to be greater than the human will or whatnot. So I'm so glad to hear you say that. And to me, that's keeping it real, that's keeping it real. So, okay. So God has helped you get through to where you are right now. And and let me just ask you one more thing. Is there any other thing that you would attribute?
Also family as well. Family, so, when it was after work, or even when it was like a celebration, because let's say I booked a role or something, just having their support and talking to them. And I always suggest that someone have a nice close knit of people they could talk to, one or two people, so you don't go insane. Because when you're by yourself for a while and all these things are happening to you, sometimes you might get into your head, or it might be too much, or you might kind of go crazy with some bad things happening. So just being able to talk to people, like that coworker, when we were friends outside of work, so I saw her a lot after work, after she wasn't working there. And just with her telling me that your faith in God, that really gave me a boost.
That's powerful, and a lot of people don't understand. Listen, so for those that are watching right now, I just want to encourage you, like your support, your kind words, a phone call, to check, whatever, it means so much. And a lot of times you get a thought that says, oh, I should check on so-and-so. But then the next thought is, they're okay. They're always happy and they're bubbly. But you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. I'm a very happy person too, but I have my times when it's like, I'm on my couch and I'm like, oh God, it's hard, right? The next day I'm gonna be up and like jumping around like Tigger, but we need support. So I'm so glad that you said it. And I'm so glad that you actually have the support of family. Many people don't have that. For many people, all they have is God. That's it. They don't have somebody. So you're blessed. You're doubly blessed. You got God and you got family that's looking out for you. So I noticed you said like your like your parents don't know that you went through that. Like my mom literally just found out. I think she found out last year that I was homeless in my 20s. It was like last year, the year before. None of my family, they didn't know. I didn't tell them. So when it came out, and it was like, what do you mean you were homeless? Well, I literally just had a talk with my mom the other day, and she's like, baby, like if you ever get in that situation, where I'm like, Mom, I'm so good. I'm so far from that. She was like, I know. I just want to tell you, like, we're here. You never have to struggle and be homeless. So I think like when we don't tell people that we're struggling, the right people, not people that's going to put you down and be like, I told you so, I told you. But when we don't give the people that really do care about us the opportunity to help us, it's almost in a way like we're robbing them of the opportunity. That's kind of what I'm getting on the back end when I'm listening to my mom's comments. I'm like, well, I never looked at it like that. I just figured I'm grown. I'm going to make it. It's like, it's make it or break it. That's it. I'm going to make it or I'm not going to make it. I'm not asking for help, right? But now I see it's like, oh, if you had only told us, right? It's like, oh, okay, you know what? Well, yeah, Mom, if that ever happens again, I will definitely let you know, right? So I just wanted to put that out there for anybody listening. If you have a supportive family, supportive system, please let people know you don't got to go through it alone. And that's another thing that COVID really brought to the spotlight, right? Mental health, right? So if you're on my LinkedIn thing, I always put on Mondays. Mondays for me is Mental Health Mondays, right? We have to have that conversation. We have to talk about mental health because in the past, we're all connected and engaged at work and we take it for granted. But now with COVID, right, we're isolated. So it's like, oh man, we got it, right? You got to tell people like, so like now, I mean, you talk to your parents on the regular and they, they kind of know how things are going with you and whatnot.
Oh yes, parents, grandparents, siblings, and also family friends. We have some wonderful, family friends of my parents and
Mm-hmm.
grandparents that I grew up with. They've known me, well, they've known my family before I was born. So I mean, I just have a big
Mm.
support system
Yeah.
as well. But I think too, it's like my eye was on the prize, living in the motel, my eye was on a prize. So it's like, okay, just everything's fine. Eric is with me. Everything's fine. Just give me a few more months. Just give me a few more
Mm-hmm.
months. And then I started, making my rounds, looking at different apartment complexes. Because I had a job. So
Mm.
that wasn't bad. The advice I
That's a
did
good
hear was
thing. Yeah,
move
some
to LA.
money. Okay. Right.
People used to tell me, because I used to do my homework. So people used to tell me in San Jose, I used to live in LA, or whatever. Like, LA is no joke. They said, make sure you have a job. So my thing is, I had a job. That
Mm.
was half the battle. So in my mind, I was like,
Right.
okay, give me a few more months and I'll get an apartment. Give me a few more months. And then like I moved and I started
Mm-hmm.
in April. And then I
Mm.
was done with my apartment, giving my notice, moving everything out in June.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay. And then my radiator busted. And then I need to get that fixed. But then I'm like, okay, just give me a few more months and then I'll get
Mm-hmm.
my apartment. So that's why I had
Mm.
my eye on the prize. I knew in my head, I'm like, this is temporary. Everyone who moves to
Right.
LA, this is what happens to them. So I said, but at least you're blessed. I had
Right.
food. I remember they used to give out free cookies where I used to work at the end. They were freshly baked cookies. It's complimentary for
Mm.
everybody. So
Yeah,
I was
right.
leaving, and some of the porters would be like, "Oh,
Stuff
you
them in
want
your pocket, right? In your purse and everything, right? I would be doing that, shoot.
Well, because I didn't have a kitchen. This motel didn't have a kitchen, so I was having takeout,
Mm.
McDonald's, and I like to cook. That's another thing. I love to cook. So
Yeah.
it was cool for a minute because it's different kind of foods and Asian food, and I love that. I love
Mm.
sushi. But
Mm.
after a while, it gets boring. But yeah, you're there in a hotel, so that's why I took some cookies. I had my little Ziploc bags, and then I had an ice box in my hotel with some ice, and I had some cold cuts because I'm not gonna starve. You have to be,
Wait, and you know what's funny? I can see you. I've watched some of your YouTube videos, so I know you're hilarious. I know you're a real funny. You're a clown, right? So I can see you like, all dainty, like putting it all in your purse, right? Like making the whole thing of it, right? I can see that. Oh my gosh, so funny.
I'm gonna eat.
You have to eat, right? So let me ask you. So I know somewhat of your story because we talk offline and whatnot. But so what I would like for you to do is share with us like that moment when you won that award. Tell us about that competition you were in, and then you would like. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but that's for you to say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's hear that.
IMTA, International Model Talent Association, and I went with a group of us, with our
Mm-hmm.
talent managers, Steve and Lori Cozart. SLC Talent Factory taught me everything there is, and
Okay.
it was grueling. It
Mm.
was a hosting category. There was
Okay.
a sitcom category. There was a modeling category. There was an acting category, and there was a
Mm.
monologue category. That's what my thing was. So
Okay.
it was grueling. We studied
Mm.
with them every Wednesday for a few months, and we were going to be down in LA from San Jose, from
Mm.
LA for a week. So again,
Mm.
I knew I wanted to move down to LA. So actually, I didn't go with the group. I
Okay.
drove. Here we go again. I drove to Los Angeles, and then I was at a hotel in Koreatown. But that was okay. That was nice. It was
Okay.
a
Okay.
hotel. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. It was a hotel in
Mm-hmm.
Koreatown. It wasn't too far away from the hotel where this
Mm.
competition was, and it was grueling. We were there 8 o'clock in the morning to about 6 o'clock doing the competitions, and there was a lot of
Wow.
speeches and networking and little,
Mm-hmm.
things you want to write down. So it was wonderful. And then it turns out that so I got a nice medal. I have to get something to put my medals in. I
Yeah. Yeah.
placed each category. So that was the hosting category, on air TV hosting category,
Okay. Okay.
the monologue
Uh-huh.
category, the TV sitcom category, the acting category. I placed in each category.
Wow.
There was 2
Yeah.
awards night. I was, I just, I wasn't. I have to say, I went in for doing what I do and having fun
Right.
and being the character or whatever I was doing. But I ended up placing, getting a few awards, and then the next night I
Mm-hmm.
got Actor of the Year. So,
Oh man, that's huge. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. That is huge. And what I really love about it is the fact that like you were just being you. You're not trying to put on airs and be all Hollywood or bougie. It's like, no, I'm just doing me. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just had to jump in. That is freaking
okay.
fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah, that's what's up.
And that's what you have to do. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, even if you're not in entertainment, you want the job, basically. And I understand that you want the job, but you have to go in and
Right.
say, I'm going to put forward my best attributes. I
Right.
studied or I rehearsed for this role. You walk
Right.
in and you start becoming the role, and then you
Mm-hmm.
really just, give it to them. So, and then actually I had a little scare because I lost my headshots like the second day.
No.
So I
What
had
do you
to
mean?
have,
Wait. What do you mean you lost them? What happened to them? How'd you lose them?
okay. I'm sorry. I didn't lose them. They were in my
Uh-huh.
apartment in San Jose, the headshots with the resume on the back. So
Uh-huh.
I had to have them pony expressed to the hotel. But guess what? I think it was FedEx. They're very
Mm.
quick. They were pony express to the hotel, and I gave them to my talent managers. So I had my
Uh-huh.
little scare. That was my one little. You have to have a scare, right? You have to have a scare.
Okay.
Sometimes that's just
Before you
gonna
win it.
happen. Because it was for 5 days. So this happened like on the first day I caught wind of it, but I didn't need the headshots until like maybe Wednesday. Woo! So
Mm-hmm.
that was perfect. But but yeah, I just had so much fun, and that's why it made me so pumped to move to LA. And then I stayed one more week in Los
Mm.
Angeles. They went home, but I stayed one more week so I could kind of get acquainted to
Mm-hmm.
LA, but it was more to look for a job. That's why I
So,
stayed.
so let me ask you this. So, because I'm as you're talking, I'm picking up different things. So one of the things that I picked up just now from you saying without saying it is it's really the power of a vision. Like you had a vision of what you wanted to do. So it's kind of like they say, don't go into the grocery store when you're hungry without a shopping list, right? Because you'll be all over the place. So it's like, boom, you came to LA, you had a purpose, you had a vision, and because of that, you didn't go with everybody else. It's like, no, I've got my own plans. I'm gonna come here myself. And then after everything broke, it's like, I'm gonna stay a little bit longer and kind of feel out the place, right? So do you think that that had something to do with your success? Because and even that win, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about this moment, this win, that you had a focus, you had a vision, and you never gave up on it.
Yes, it really did help. It really helped. And even going back, I had a
Mm.
modeling agency back in the day. And I don't know, it's just I always knew I wanted to come to LA, but I knew it had to be the right time.
Right. Time is
So this
everything.
was so a lot of, just knowing I need to come to LA, but it had to be the
Hmm.
right time. So then I transitioned a little bit after my modeling agency to a San Francisco agency. And again, that's when I met the right talent managers that not
Mm.
only they just gave me pearls of wisdom for the entertainment industry, but for anything, great business advice. And then
Right.
when I got with them, I said, okay, now it's time. And I got a little bit older. And then I
Hmm.
said, okay, so that's why, yes, it was great. It was really good for me to spend one more week because during the
Mm.
competition, I was just at the hotel. So we were busy. But for
Got
that
it.
extra week, I got a chance to,
Mm.
though I was in Hollywood mainly because
Yeah.
that's where you go, Hollywood.
That's where you go. Right.
That's all you know. Like, okay, Hollywood. But that got me kind of acquainted. I got to see a few places, and yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And see, this is so cool because it doesn't matter who comes on this show. Invariably, everybody is the story is different, right? But at some point, everyone's going to touch base on the same concept, and that is your mindset matters most, right? So if if you didn't have the right mindset, you'd have been out of there. You know what I'm saying? First time they started taking the doorknob off, you'd be like, yeah, I'm out of here. Police,
Yeah.
hey girl, they holler, hey girl, they hollering at you. It's like, yeah, I'm up out of here. The transaction, I'm gone, right? But you stayed the course because you had the right mindset. And what you kept telling yourself is like, hey, this is just temporary. This is not going to last. It's just, see, it's that right there. If you have the right mindset, then you have the right conversation with yourself. Everyone's always looking for somebody to pump them up. I used to be that dude, looking for somebody to pump me up. But at some point you learn, you need to pump yourself up. You need to celebrate yourself, have your own little party. And that's what gets you through. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. It's like you had the faith in God, you had the family support. But the other key to the success that I'm hearing is it was your mindset, and it was the communication that you have with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very powerful, very powerful. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Did I cut you off? Was you gonna say something? You like there's a lag here for a little bit.
Oh no,
okay.
You're fine.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I mean, we're gonna go now to drop some gems. Okay, we're gonna drop some success gems, some strategies. So what is one or two strategies that you would like to share with people? That, and they could be a man, they could be a woman, they could be in your industry or not, whatever. What would you share?
Yes. I was talking about my talent managers, and they gave me great advice. And one thing is to always be prepared. And this goes for any type of business, just like, for instance, being an actress, model, singer, it probably works around. Always, like they taught me, always have your headshot with your resume on the back. Always have a few copies in your car, manila envelopes, because you never know who you're going to run into. And also with business cards, they don't have to be fancy, smancy. You get them from Kinko's, they're very affordable. Always have some business cards on you, because you never know who you're going to meet. And then it even went further as to if you are a actress, model, and let's say your agent calls you, have a little bit of clothes, your all-purpose audition V-neck shirt, some pants, some flats in the back seat of your car. So if they call you, you're like, okay, let me, you could put that on, and it's already in your car, because in LA you don't have time to always go back home. Snacks in your car. So they always told you, sometimes when you see very famous actors, they said, it's not always older talent. It's because they were prepared. And also for the audition, they were prepared. Or maybe they came in and the director said, okay, you know what? Can you actually read this role? You hear that a lot, where they come in and the director say, you know what? Instead, can you go out for a few minutes, come back in. We want you to read for this role. Well, sometimes that might freak people out and they're like, oh my goodness. But if you can just go in with the mindset of like, you know what? Because this happened to me too. When you go on set, sometimes they might add to the script, take away the script. So if your mindset is really on, these are my lines and they're not going to change, and then it changes, and you can adapt to that, it really throws you off.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another way of being prepared. Just like, and then that could be anything, even a business meeting or a business interview. If something's a little thrown off, or they give you something different, don't freak out. Just as like, okay, well, it has nothing to do with you. They just might be giving you something different because they see the qualities in you and they want to see what you can do with this, and they want to, and sometimes they just want to play and have fun. So basically being prepared.
That's huge. So in the Navy, the way we did it, a lot of people know I was a master training specialist in the Navy. I did a lot of stuff. That was one of my hats. But one of the tenets of learning, the Navy laws of learning, was they called it the law of preparation. So it's almost like a Murphy's Law type of thing. It's like literally like you always be prepared. So if your class is tomorrow, you need to spend X amount of hours in your class when it's empty, prepping, you're at the podium, you're talking. It's like you have to be ready. And then honestly, the times when I did not do that, because I was like, that's ridiculous, I got this. And there would always be a curveball. And it's like, you're standing in front of the students kind of embarrassed, right? Then I learned, okay, you know what? I will be ready. I'm ready. So that's what I hear you saying. It's like, you have to be ready. Be prepared and be ready. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're coming to a close now, right? So let's talk about, well, actually, before I say where we can find you, I want to say this, right? Maybe a lot of you don't know, but I say Shy's one of her superpowers, because she has many. She makes amazing video content. So I know so many entrepreneurs on LinkedIn. I did international coaching last year, internationals. I know people all over the world. And one of the things that I can honestly say to you, Shy, and to my friends out there in the business community is, how many times did we need a video? How many times did we would look at somebody else's video and say, whoa, that was nice. I mean, my brother Rob is on here, or at least he was on here. I see somebody, I don't know if Rob is still here, but Rob even made a comment earlier when he saw one of the videos you made. He is like, man, now that's how you give a shout out, right? That's like, it's the video. It basically takes it, even if you're killing the game, if you don't have a quality video, boom, you know what I'm saying? You kind of stuck there, right? The video makes the difference. You need somebody. And Shy, I know one of the things that you communicated to me very well is that, basically you teach people kind of how to be like their own, how'd you word it? Like their own
multimedia company. You can be your own and do it yourself.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. So this is, you need to connect with Shy, right? Shy can help you with that. It ain't gonna be for free. Come on now, right? It's not gonna be for free. But listen, you can connect with Shy. Shy can turn your things around very quickly, right? She can give you a quality video at a very affordable rate, and you will just be, your mind's gonna be blown. I'm telling you. Okay, so on that note, where can we find you, Shy?
You can find me on YouTube at It's Shy, but she's not that shy. My name is spelled S-H-A-I. You can also find me on Instagram at It's Shy, but she's not that shy. You can find me on LinkedIn at Shy Lachelle Wilson Crumpler. And then you can also find me on Facebook at the official Shy Wilson. Wow.
Okay, that's fantastic. You got the whole gamut there, right? So that's what we want, right? That's what we want. So please reach out to Shy. She's an amazing person. She's an amazing woman. She's an amazing human being. So talented, so rich. And you can see, Shy, honestly, like, you're glowing. Like, it's the life that you have on the inside of you, right? So if I didn't know you, I would be like, yeah, that woman knows God. That woman has joy. That's a happy woman. That's a loving woman. That is somebody that I would like to be friends with, right? And, people want to do business with people that they like. So I just want to say, kudos to you, because it doesn't, even if you're a naturally bubbly person, you have to do the mental work to keep your mind right and to keep your light bright, so to speak, right? So thank you for that. And thank you for being amazing and being a part of the show. I'm going to ask you now before we end, can we get you back on the show? Can we expect to have you back on the show?
I would love to. Just let me know. I'm going to clear my calendars just for you.
Okay, I love it. That is what's up. Okay, so thank you so much. So again, mindset matters most. I appreciate everybody that came out today and supported the show, whether it was live or on the replay. Reach out to Shy. She's amazing. And remember, your mindset matters most, right? You change your mindset, you change your money. You change your mindset, you change your money. You change your mindset, you change your money. Okay, that's it. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed.